Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In this video here, we're going to take a look at circle and also text annotations with Ultralytics. So once we have our models up and running, we get our bounding boxes out and so on, but we have different annotation tools that we can go in and use instead. So it could be that you want to have a circle annotation instead, or basically just a label with the text inside. Could be depending on your different use cases, projects and so on. You might not want your bounding boxes and so on. So we also have a lot of plotting, visualization tools that we're going to go over in this video. So let's just jump straight into the Ultralytics documentation. So if you just go inside our quick start tab, we pretty much have all the different tasks, like all the different ways that you can use Ultralytics, the different modes, tasks, and also models. We have videos covering most of them, so make sure you check those out. If you go inside our simple utilities, this is where we can find all the drawing tools, all the utilities and so on. If you want to create our own auto annotator and so on, this is in here. So if you scroll a bit further down, we should be able to go down and find how we can actually like draw these tools. There we go. Now we can see that we both have these different bounding boxes annotators. So we have oriented bounding boxes, we have horizontal bounding boxes if you want to draw those annotations. So that will just be the traditional bounding boxes. But we also have some other options, which is the circle label. So bounding boxes with circle annotation and also bounding boxes with text annotation. So what it's going to do is just going to make a circle and then the class inside of that. And for the text annotation, we just have a text label on top of each individual object. So it's now just grab the code here, run into the code editor to see the differences and also how we can run it. And we'll also go through the code here because we can go in and do customizations to it. There's also a reference page. So if I just open that up, we have this plotting tool where we can go in and see all the functionality. So we have our circle label. If we scroll a bit further up, we also have our box label where we can specify the box. So that will be the bounding box coordinates, our XY coordinates. We have our label. So that will just be our object class. Could also be a tracked ID. We can specify the color. So we can choose the specific color we want, the text color, and also if it should be rotated or not if you're using oriented bounding boxes. So these are pretty much just functions with the arguments that we can go in and specify. But let's now just open up the code editor. I'm just going to paste in the first one here. Let's swap out the path to a video. We just call this bags, where we have these suitcases running on a conveyor belt at the airport where we want to pick them up. So first of all, we can just import our annotator from ultralytics.utils.plotting, import annotator. That's pretty much everything that we need. We create an instance of our YOLO model. So we use the new YOLO 11 model. There we go. We set up a while loop. And also, first of all, we have a video writer so we can save our results. We have our while true. So it's basically just going to run until we hit Q on our keyboard and it will terminate the program, go out and release our writer, capture and just destroy all the windows that we have opened up. So just need to initialize our annotator with our image. We can then run our model prediction. We get our bounding boxes and also classes. So those are the two values from the documentation that we need to throw inside this circle label or also the box label. Then we just have a for loop running through all our bounding boxes, all the classes, so basically all detections that we have in our image. So these are just working on individual images, but you can also use it with object tracking. Then we just specify our bounding box, so where we want to plot our circle label and also the label. So that will just be we go in and extract the names and then we take the index, we index that in the names to get the specific class for a pre-trained YOLO 11 model. But you can also use this on your own custom trained models. We have tons of videos covering like every single step of the pipeline, how you can set up a data set, fine tune it, good practices and so on. We're going to show the image, we're going to write it to a video file, and that's pretty much it. So it's not just open up a terminal and actually run the program. I'm going to activate my conda environment. There we go. And we can run this Python file, annotation.py. I'm just going to run it here, should open up our window and we should be able to see our circle annotations. So here we just have our suitcases. The labels here are probably like too small, or like at least the circles are too small to be able to draw this whole suitcase. So our label is suitcase, but this is also pretty nice. So they could be, depending on the project, how you want to visualize your results and so on, instead of just the traditional bounding boxes. Another cool option, which I actually find better, is the other one that we have inside the documentation. So that will be our text annotation tool with our labels. So our text label, let me grab that one. It's the exact same setup. Again, I'm just going to specify the path. So bags, the only difference we have here, we still import the annotator. The only difference that we have down here is how we call this annotator.text label instead of the other one. This is the only change that we have made in the code. We can now rerun it. Get the results over here to the left. I'm going to drag it over. So now we have our suitcases. Basically just have a label with our object class, so it looks pretty cool. Could be that you have a ton of different detections, all the bounding boxes, they're overlapping, doesn't really give you a good overview over the detections, where the detections are exactly. Here is just going to use the center of the bounding boxes and then draw these labels. So that's pretty much it. You can directly go in and use it. It's just a few lines of code and you can create these custom visualizations. So thanks a lot for watching this video here. Remember to check out the other videos that we have on the channel. We pretty much cover everything that you can do with computer vision, object detection, instant segmentation with Ultralytics. So just hope to see you guys in one of the upcoming videos. Until then, happy learning.